This thrilling story begins by showing a man named Andrich, who was experiencing extremely strange visions. In these visions, he would see many giant dragons. But suddenly, he woke up from his sleep. Andrich also had an older brother named Derry. At that time, Derry was in the forest, hunting. But suddenly, Derry saw a man whose entire body was burned. He was suffering terribly, so Derry decided to help him. He picked him up and brought him home to give him first aid. Derry lived in a town where, upon seeing the injured man, the townspeople immediately said that this must be the work of dragons, because only they could cause such devastation. Although Derry and many others tried to save the man, sadly, the man had been severely injured and died. Derry felt terrible that he couldn't help him. It's revealed here that Derry and Andrich's mother and father had died long ago. What deep secret lies behind this will be revealed soon. Now, Derry continued doing his daily work as usual, so he and his remaining family could have food on time. But then, Derry and his people found out that a giant dragon had come to their town to attack, breathing fire and wreaking havoc everywhere. However, Derry couldn't fight the dragon alone, so he woke up his brother Andrich and took him far away from the village, because at that moment, Derry believed his top priority was saving his brother's life. They had already traveled far through the forest, and their Derry told Andrich clearly that, before dying, their father had told him to protect Andrich in every difficult situation, no matter what. Derry was never going to leave Andrich behind. As night fell, Derry decided they would spend the night there. Together, they lit a fire to keep wild animals away at night, which was the best way to protect themselves. The two fell asleep peacefully. But the next morning, when they woke up, they were attacked by some people. These were soldiers from another kingdom who saw them as enemies. But Derry was determined not to let his brother get hurt at any cost. So he gave it his all and started fighting the soldiers. The leader of all these soldiers was a man named Nathan, who believed that Derry and Andrich were their enemies. However, Derry displayed his exceptional fighting skills and managed to kill many of the soldiers, which shocked Nathan. He couldn't understand how someone could defeat his men so easily. Once the fighting stopped and everyone calmed down, Nathan explained to Derry that they had seen a fire burning in the forest and followed it, thinking there might be a dragon there. They assumed Derry and Andrich were working for the dragon. Derry quickly clarified that he didn't work for any dragon. In fact, he was a dragon hunter and his goal was to eliminate them. Nathan was relieved to hear this because he and his soldiers were also hunting dragons. Upon learning that Derry was heading west, Nathan and his men decided to join him. Nathan even offered Derry a place in his team, suggesting they could work together to slay many dragons and protect people more effectively. Derry accepted the offer, knowing that being part of a group would be an advantage. Later, some of Nathan's soldiers approached him, questioning how they could allow ordinary people like Derry and Andrich to join the team. But Nathan explained to them that Derry possessed valuable fighting skills that could benefit their mission, and that they would make use of those abilities in the future. Once everything was clarified, the group continued their journey together. That night, as everyone sat around a bonfire, Derry's younger brother Andrich was chatting with a soldier named Andrich, one of the strongest warriors in Nathan's team. Andrich asked him if he had ever seen a dragon. Andrich then told him in detail about the terrifying dragons he had already fought. These dragons were extremely fierce and dangerous, capable of devouring humans in an instant. Meanwhile, Derry was making plans with Nathan and the other soldiers to move forward on their mission. There could be dragons all around this area, and if they appeared, they would surely attack. That's why, at this moment, choosing the right path was extremely important. Everyone began discussing what the best course of action would be. The next day, we see a few of Nathan's men harassing an innocent man. But just then, another soldier named Ro Lang appeared and rescued the man by confronting the troublemakers. He warned them that if they continued to harass people like this, he would hand them over to the dragons. This threat seemed to scare them off. Meanwhile, as Derry was exploring the forest, he came across objects related to dark magic. Curious, he moved closer to investigate, but suddenly, a group of people appeared and started attacking him. Derry had no idea who they were or what they wanted. Luckily, Nathan's soldiers arrived just in time and began fighting to help Derry. Andrich also joined the fight to support his brother. Initially, they all fought well, but the number of enemy soldiers kept increasing, becoming overwhelming. Seeing this, Andrich, the powerful soldier, decided to unleash his true powers. His body began surging with intense energy, and he started to grow in size. Andrich charged into the enemy ranks, picking up the evil soldiers and slamming them to the ground with brutal force. Alone, he took down more than half of them. But in the chaos, Andrich ended up in front of Andrich, and Andrich instinctively grabbed him. When Andrich realized that Andrich was not an enemy, he immediately returned to his normal state. Derry, having just defeated the remaining enemies, saw this moment and rushed toward Oleg, thinking he was about to harm Andrich. But Andrich quickly stopped his older brother and explained everything to him, making it clear that Oleg meant no harm. Oleg was actually trying to save Andrich's life, but Derry, now aware of Oleg's dangerous behavior, wasn't willing to take any chances. He feared that Oleg could go out of control again in the future. That's why Derry clearly told Nathan that Oleg would not be going with them any further. However, Nathan defended Oleg, saying that he had been with their team for many years and they couldn't abandon him just like that. So, Nathan gave Derry an option: if he wanted to leave with his brother, he could, but they were not going to leave Oleg behind. After thinking deeply, Derry finally decided to keep Oleg in the team, realizing that surviving alone in this dangerous world would be nearly impossible. The entire team then began planning their next journey. Based on all the investigations Derry had done so far, he explained to Nathan that there were multiple groups scattered across the forest, just like theirs. These groups would attack each other, trying to dominate and loot resources, making it unsafe to stay in one place for too long. Therefore, Derry suggested they keep moving until they found a truly safe location. Due to Derry's experience, everyone agreed with his advice. So, the group continued their journey, marching forward even at night without stopping. Nathan's soldiers reached a large open ground when suddenly they saw multiple dragons in the sky. The dragons began attacking them one by one. One of the soldiers, male, was severely injured during the attack. Though the dragons eventually flew away, male was left clinging to life. Derry, Nathan, and the rest of the soldiers immediately took male to a doctor from their tribe. This doctor was quite old but had deep knowledge of medicines and also knew basic healing magic. Seeing male's critical condition, the doctor began treating him immediately, applying various herbs and remedies to his wounds in hopes of healing him quickly. Derry himself was also injured, and a girl named Raya was tending to his wounds. There seemed to be a connection forming between them. Derry was clearly starting to like her, though he didn't say anything to her just yet. The next day, Derry went to the battleground to call his brother Andrich, but there he noticed something alarming. Andrich was fighting with Ro Lang in front of several people. Due to his lack of strength, Andrich was being badly beaten by Ro Lang. Derry immediately rushed in to protect his younger brother and separated the two. He then scolded Andrich harshly, warning him not to fight like this again since he was still weak and others would easily overpower him. But for the first time, Andrich was angry at his elder brother Derry. Andrich went so far as to tell his elder brother that he wasn't capable of fighting dragons. If he were, he would have stayed to help the villagers instead of fleeing with him. These words deeply hurt Derry, who only wanted to protect his younger brother. He had been working so hard to keep him safe, but now it seemed that his efforts meant nothing. Even Ro Lang became angry and attacked Derry, but Derry took him down with a single blow. After that, Ro Lang didn't dare to challenge Derry again. Meanwhile, the doctor who was treating Male gathered all the soldiers and Nathan's men together and informed them that Male had recovered. To celebrate this good news, they decided to hold a festive gathering that night, so everyone, who had been exhausted from the recent battles, could enjoy and relax. The team was thrilled by the announcement. As the doctor cheerfully addressed the crowd, an old man named Aaron approached him. Aaron told the doctor to stop spreading false beliefs among the people, saying that such talk distracted them and made them believe in the wrong things. The doctor became very angry at Aaron and stormed off. That night, while all the soldiers were enjoying the celebration, Aaron quietly approached Andrich and told him something important. Aaron warned Andrich not to trust the doctor, saying that he was leading him down the wrong path, one that could ultimately get him killed. He urged Andrich to come with him because he had something important to show him. Respecting Aaron as a senior, Andrich followed him. Aaron led him to the place where Male was still resting and recovering. Moments later, Aaron took out a small knife and began cutting into Male's abdomen. Andrich was shocked and horrified by what he saw, unable to understand what Aaron was doing. But soon after, Aaron pulled something strange out of Male's stomach. When Andrich asked him what it was, Aaron explained that it was a dragon egg. According to Aaron, when dragons attack, they sometimes intentionally implant eggs into human bodies. These eggs then slowly grow, and eventually, a dragon is born inside the human host. The real problem was that the doctor had known this truth but had chosen not to tell anyone. That's why Aaron wanted Andrich and all his soldiers to stay highly alert and prepare themselves to fight against the dragons. Soon after the two left, the doctor arrived at the same place. When he saw Male's body cut open, he immediately understood that Aaron must have been there. The doctor then carefully removed the dragon egg and stored it in a special preservative container. The next day, Derry and Nathan were discussing how they could protect themselves and which direction would be safest to move forward. We then see all the soldiers traveling through the forest when Raya, moving slightly ahead of the group, sensed that enemies were nearby, slowly approaching them. Her instincts were right, as 3 enemy soldiers were indeed coming toward them. Raya quickly drew one of her arrows, enchanted it with magic, and set it aflame, revealing that she too had supernatural powers. Without wasting a moment, she released the flaming arrow, and it struck all 3 enemies at once, killing them instantly. The path was now clear, so the group continued moving forward and soon reached a castle. Nathan and his soldiers were already familiar with this castle. It was said to be a place where dragon hunters were once trained. Though they didn't see anyone there now, they began exploring the interior of the castle. Their goal was to find some ancient spells or chants that could help them control dragons. These chants were known to have originated in the Aska kingdom, so the group carefully searched the castle. While they didn't find any scrolls or spells, they did discover symbols carved into the walls. Nathan confirmed that these were definitely from the Aska people. The strange writings and symbols must have had some hidden meaning. So, the team decided to document all the symbols carefully for future study. Meanwhile, in another location, the doctor was seen performing a strange ritual using the Aska symbols. What kind of ritual it was, no one yet knew. Ultimately, it would be Nathan and his soldiers who would have to face the consequences of what was happening. Meanwhile, inside the castle, Aaron approached Derry and asked him why he hadn't yet told Andrich the truth. Aaron insisted that Andrich deserved to know everything by now. Just then, Andrich arrived and overheard their entire conversation. Shocked, he turned to his elder brother and asked what this hidden truth was. Derry finally revealed that before their mother died, she had made a final wish, for Andrich to become a dragon hunter. She had even transferred some of her magical powers into him. That's why Derry had always wanted Andrich to follow this path and become a great warrior. But Andrich, feeling unworthy and too weak, told Derry that he didn't believe he was capable of becoming anything like that. Saddened, Andrich walked away. Soon after, his friend Alec approached him and encouraged him. He told Andrich that he could do anything if he just believed in himself. These words gave Andrich a bit of confidence. Since they didn't find any solid evidence in the castle, the rest of the soldiers decided to leave. But Derry stayed behind with Andrich to give him rigorous training, to shape him into a true dragon hunter. Andrich took the training seriously and started improving quickly. He had made up his mind, he would become a great dragon hunter, no matter what. Under Derry's guidance, his fighting skills improved remarkably in just a few days. One day, Aaron called Andrich over and respectfully handed him a sword, one that had once belonged to his ancestors. Along with the sword, Aaron also gave him a locket, a symbol of the dragon hunter's legacy. Aaron believed that Andrich was destined to become a great warrior and that, with the help of these items, he could defeat even the deadliest dragons. After sharing this, Aaron quietly left. Meanwhile, we see the doctor performing strange rituals using the dragon egg that had been removed from Male's body. He created a bizarre potion and drank it himself. Almost instantly, the doctor began to feel dizzy and collapsed, falling unconscious on the floor. Later, when Raya arrived and found him in that condition, she was shocked and deeply concerned. But as she stayed by his side for a while, the doctor suddenly regained consciousness. The doctor suddenly grabbed Raya and told her, "I have become a demon. I can now control dangerous dragons. That's why you should join me." But Raya refused to go with him. After investigating a little further, she realized the horrifying truth, that it was the doctor himself who had stolen the ancient Aska chants from the castle, and he had used them to perform those dark rituals. Raya immediately rushed off to inform Nathan and the rest of the team, but just moments later, the doctor heard a strange, growling sound. He jolted upright and ran outside to see what it was. And there it stood, a massive dragon had appeared near his home. Seeing the dragon, the doctor declared, "I have completed all the rituals. I can fully control you now." But the way the dragon looked at him suggested otherwise. In the very next moment, the terrifying creature lunged at the doctor, sank its sharp teeth into him, and tore him apart, killing him brutally. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Derry and Andrich heard villagers screaming in the distance. Alarmed, they rushed toward the village area. But by the time they arrived, it was already too late. The dragon had destroyed the entire village. Many people had been killed, and the survivors were in terrible condition. As Derry searched the wreckage, he found Aaron, barely breathing. With his last words, Aaron asked Derry to remove the dragon egg from his body so the dragon bloodline wouldn't continue. Derry did as he was told, and shortly after, Aaron died. Derry then rushed to Raya, who was also badly injured. Raya pleaded, "Take the egg out of me too." But when Andrich examined her, he told them that there was no egg in her body, so there was no need for such a procedure. He assured them that Raya would recover soon. After that, they all hurried to find Nathan, who was gravely wounded and breathing his last. Ro Lang explained that Nathan and their entire army had fought bravely against the dragon, but the creature turned out to be far more powerful than they had anticipated. After a few moments of pain, Nathan succumbed to his injuries and died. Now Derry and the remaining survivors knew they had to act, because the dragon would surely return. That's when Ro Lang proposed an idea: they should gather the remaining people and evacuate the area. But Andrich was firmly against it. He declared, "How long will we keep running from this dragon? We have to stand and fight." Andrich then shared a detailed plan with everyone about how they could defeat the dragon. His confidence and determination inspired the group, and they all agreed to prepare for the final battle. First, they moved their wounded allies to a safe location. Then, following Andrich's strategy, they began preparing for the next day. The plan was to spread out through the forest, surrounding the area from all directions, so they could attack the dragon from every side. Andrich instructed his teammates to aim directly for the dragon's eyes. "If we can blind it," he said, "it'll become much weaker, and that's when we strike to kill." With the plan set, the group moved into position across the forest. Soon, the terrifying dragon appeared, roaring furiously and charging toward them. As a true leader, Andrich guided the entire team, giving the signal to attack. Everyone launched arrows at the dragon's eyes, but the creature turned out to be more cunning than expected. It sensed the danger just in time and shielded its eyes, avoiding serious injury. The failed attack only made the dragon even angrier. Enraged, it flew directly toward Derry and prepared to attack. But before the dragon could reach him, Rick jumped in, grabbing the dragon by its jaws and trying to hold it back. Though Rick was strong and brave, he was no match for the dragon's raw power. In a terrifying moment, the dragon clamped its massive jaws around Rick and devoured him whole. Rick was gone. From behind, Derry tried to stab the dragon with his sword, but the beast kicked him hard, sending him flying into the trees. Derry was badly injured. Raya quickly ran to help Derry, but the dragon was still looming in front of them. It began charging at the two of them, and then breathed fire, trying to burn them alive. But just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Andrich arrived to save them. Risking his own life, he charged in to protect his brother Derry. Using the sword gifted to him and all the fighting techniques he had learned, Andrich attacked the dragon's leg fiercely and even managed to damage its wings, rendering it unable to fly properly. This, in fact, had been Andrich's backup plan all along. If they failed to blind the dragon, they would disable its flight by damaging the wings. The plan worked. The dragon, now frightened and weakened, began trying to escape, but each attempt to fly ended in failure. Andrich was quick, agile, and focused. He wasn't going to miss this golden opportunity to kill the dragon. When he saw the creature in the perfect spot, he leapt from a high ledge, sword in hand, and drove it deep into the dragon's body. The dragon screamed in agony and collapsed, finally dead. Andrich was overwhelmed with joy. He had killed his first dragon. It proved to him that he was worthy of being a dragon hunter, just like his brother Derry. He vowed to become even stronger, knowing well that this was just one dragon, and many more dangerous ones could be out there. For now, the group reunited. Derry survived too, though he was slightly injured. He was alive. Life started returning to normal, and they began rebuilding their town, but this time, with the confidence that they could fight dragons if they returned. In the end, we hear Derry's voice, declaring, "No matter how many challenges come our way, I will become a great dragon hunter. I will destroy every dragon that hurts humans. This journey may be tough, but with my brother and all my companions by my side, I will become the hunter I was meant to be." Andrich, alongside his friends, begins living his life with newfound purpose. And with that, our story comes to an end.